Welcome to our next episode. Today I have Joe Dibble back. Joe is an amazing person and amazing entrepreneur, and she's the breakthrough expert and change catalyst. You can listen to her previous podcast. If you just scroll down a little bit, you'll find her previous episode, which was absolutely fabulous. Joe is also an event producer of Rockalicious events that are run all across North America. And I'm so excited because we have one here in Vancouver. If you are listening right now, at the time when we are recording podcast in 2017, in February, we have one event here in Vancouver. And I'm so excited about that. So Joe, welcome to our show.
Oh, Milena, thank you so much. It's always an honor. And, I love your body of work, and I love what you're doing to move women forward. Well, to move anyone forward, actually, that wants to make that decision, because, we've all got amazing gifts. So thank you very much for me. It's awesome to be here with you.
Oh, you're most welcome. I'm so glad to have you back. And you know what? I would like to ask you something very specific, actually, to have a conversation with you about this. As you know, we both have stories that are quite tragic, right? We both went through horrible stuff in our life, and we made it through. And today we are both in this transformational work, inspiring people, changing their lives. But my question is, what do you think are those qualities that are helping people get through those terrible times, horrible times they're experiencing? Because everybody has stories, right? To a certain degree, somebody more tragic, somebody less. But we all have stories, but some people don't make it. Some people then go in addictions, depression, all this kind of stuff. So what is it? Because if we can pinpoint those qualities, we can help those that are in trouble right now and need to get out of that place.
That's a great question. And it's definitely something I've pondered over the years, because, when we are so close to something, sometimes it's hard to see. So, for example, people don't think, not everyone thinks the way you and I think, okay? But then you and I don't think the way others think. So great example of this is, if you look in history and in today's world, not just history, if you look at current people that have risen above, like yourself and myself, but look at some of the icons of our society, such as Oprah, Ellen DeGeneres, when she came and shared her story, it totally derailed her. That was a different sort of a situation. You look at people like Richard Branson. Those types of people did not come with the silver spoon. In fact, I think it's a detriment to come with a silver spoon. What I think is different between those of us that have decided that's enough, we're going to change, or we're going to take something, or we're going to move something to a new level, are people that have got to a point, sort of a demarcation line in our life, and we decide that there's more to life. I think there's also attributes that we need to have. When I say ambition, some people get all weird about that, but ambition for self, to move ourselves forward, to make the planet better, the ambition to be the change that we ourselves seek. And when you think of the stories that the story that you've gone through, the situations I've gone through, what was that? For me, ambition was one, hope and faith, the belief that something out there was better. And I hung on to that as though it was my lifeline. I never, from the time that I decided there was more to life, because it wasn't always so, right? We all have our dark moments, but I knew that there had to be something better. There had to be. And these other icons in society tell us there is, and they've done well, right?
Yeah. I can so relate to this, because I actually shared the same experience as you do. Because I remember I was crying one day and I said, is this all there is to life? And then you die? I didn't sign up for this. No. There must be more, right? And that's what was driving me, including with another thing that went on inside of me at that point. I became extremely strong inside of me. I said, this will not destroy me. No. I'm going to win this situation. And I think you literally have to get angry, not passive, but you really have to, at that point, anger is good because it's driving you, it's moving you from the point where you are to the next level, because it's that, can I call it holy anger, where it really moves you when you say, this is not it, this is not what I want to go there. and nothing will stop me.
Yeah. And we're not destined. You know, we arrive here. I like to say we come into the world shiny and new. We don't have any preconceived ideas. So when the world happens around us, when we're tiny, and then we start to develop our own experiences and our patterns, we're not here just to take up space. Like, it doesn't matter who we are, whatever our interest is, we're not here just for that. You know, we're here to do, we're here to do more, to be more, to see more, to be an impact in people's lives. Mm-hmm. And whatever that looks like, it could even just be in our own family. And you're right, that anger propels us. The other thing that for me is a real key indicator was fear. You know, I had so much fear around him finding me and finishing the job, as he said. It motivated me because I had children to keep them safe, and keeping them safe meant I had to figure out a different way of thinking. Fear in and of itself, or anger in and of itself, doesn't move you, but it can be an absolute catalyst to your change. Mm-hmm. If you get past this, you're in trouble. You cannot accept that your life is not meant for more. I can't say that strongly enough. You simply can't accept that your own life isn't meant for something more. And it's not about world change, although that's great. It could be about family dynamics, breaking a legacy. But we're here to do something, and you're right. It's those emotions that set us in motion, and then we get to decide what we're going to do with it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And actually, you know, we share lots of things in common. The more I listen to you, I'm like, oh, that was me too. Because I had kids at the time too. And I said, you know, this is not the life they deserve. I have to give them more. I'm not going to stay in an abusive relationship. Mm-hmm. And it gave me tremendous strength. It's like I actually heard, I think it was Marianne Williamson that I've listened to yesterday, and she said there's no greater force than a mother.
Yeah.
Because she says, just look into the animal world, right? Mama bear with cubs, right? What's going to happen if you cross their path? And it's the same, really the same with us, yes. Right? With mothers, I mean, you have children, there's nothing that's going to stop you to protect them, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
But then there are men too. I mean, and men make it. Look at Tony Robbins.
Yeah.
I mean, what a hard situation he came from. And look at him today. He's changing people's lives. Amazing success. So there are other components. I mean, there are components that we share, and it is this desire for more.
It is. And I think the other thing, and this is a tough one if you've never been encouraged as a child, but you've got to go deep. You've got to dig deep, and you've got to go and find that inner, some people call it grit, some people call it courage, and that whole inner self piece. You know, when you're right with yourself, when you know who this is, when you embrace that you are intended to do something, this isn't about being, you know, bragging or any of that stuff. This is about acknowledging our role in our own life. But when you're right with this, you can go out into the world and do things. And so not becoming, you know, often people will say, oh, I'm so sorry you were a victim of. I was never a victim. I was victimized. There's a huge difference. Those two words, one says, I'm stuck and I can never get up. The other says, yeah, that's what happened. That's not for standing on my story, not in it. Standing in it doesn't change anything. We just keep perpetuating the same thing.
And that's true. I often say when I share my story at my events, I say, you know what, this is not a story of struggle or victim, or this is a story of power. This is where I found myself. This is where I finally realized, look how strong I am.
Yeah.
I mean, today you can throw stuff at me. It doesn't matter, but I know there's a way out because I made it once, so I'm going to make it again. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what people need to be aware of. It's a moment of struggle, but it's not going to last forever.
No.
It's just one moment.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then there's... Yeah. And then there's going to be another moment that's going to be just great and fantastic as long as you believe in it.
Yeah, exactly. I completely agree. And I think one of the other elements. So when you look at some of these people that have risen above, that have taken tremendous strides, you know, went from basically abject poverty to, you know, riding the wave. One of the things that separates those people, in my opinion, is their ability to be grateful, to have gratitude and act in service, because you and I did not get here by ourselves. You and I did not survive the travesties. Let's be honest. It was awful. It was. Okay, so it was. That's not our whole life, you're right. But you and I did not get here alone. Somebody put their hand up and said, I believe in you. I see you, and I'm standing with you. And I'll tell you what, that is worth more than money can ever be. I had what I call 8 earth angels show up in my life at times. They knew nothing of what was going on, but they just seemed to know what to say to be that change. So people that show up in service and in gratitude, which is, you know, I'm so grateful to be alive and free. Yeah. I'm so grateful to live the life and do the work I do. And I think that actually escalated my success. I know it did. I know it did.
I couldn't agree more, because I remember when I was in the deepest trouble with no money, you know, stuck in a basement with my 2 kids, threatened every day. Something happened. It was really a miracle where I felt the weight lifted off my shoulders, because I was at the point of suicide. I was like, I'm not playing this game anymore. And then I felt this release, and suddenly life was, you know, wow, there's hope. But one defining thing in that moment was that I became extremely grateful for life, for the fact that I didn't have a job at that moment. Yeah, we didn't have any money, but I could be with kids every moment of the day. I didn't go alone through this. For the rain, for the sun, like for little things. And I felt that gratitude. I felt it in my heart. Yeah. And then miracles started happening. People would walk into our lives, as you call them, earth angels, right? Mm-hmm. Helping us. And it was just incredible. Mm-hmm. And I know that without gratitude, nothing happens. And I've seen when, you know, in these years of coaching people now, when people are not excited about life, those are the people that are not grateful. Mm-hmm. If you're not grateful, you cannot experience life with enthusiasm, with, you know, that attitude. Wow, look at this gorgeous day. Yeah. You just don't have it because you don't have gratitude.
Yeah. I agree. And, you know, you can't move your life forward unless you can appreciate the smallest of things. Like I'll say, from the smallest blade of grass, when the sun hits, like it's so gorgeous outside and right now. And I'm seeing the sun hitting like the dewdrops on the branches of the tree, mm-hmm. and they're providing their own little kaleidoscope of color. I wish I could show it to you. Kind of a little bit like that behind me. But knowing and being aware, being present. So that goes to the gratitude state too, because we become more aware. And, you know, it's not woo-woo. It really does. It works. It's not just about it working. It becomes your being. Mm-hmm. And the more that we embrace it, the more that we raise our hands for our own lives and for others, that's when change occurs. And oftentimes people go, oh yeah, that's all nice. That's all well and good. But you know what? It's not. It's a practice. You decide that your life is going to be joyous. Are there bad moments? Yes. Like, absolutely. But you said it earlier, we weather the storms better when we've been through things, because what's the worst? You know, I'm often heard saying, I survived a serial killer. What is the worst thing that can happen to me? Right? There's very little that I can't actually think of anything except something very tragic I never speak of with my children. But, you know, that's the only thing I don't know. And I never want to experience that. But the point is, our experiences that we've overcome actually act as as a step. If you're thinking of a staircase or ladder, to move it to the next so that we can do bigger work. But it is in our service to others that we actually repay our own debts, in my opinion.
Yeah. And thanks for mentioning service to others, because I feel that when we serve, when we are in that place, what can I give to another person? We actually rise above our own situation. We forget for that moment what's wrong with my situation, with my life. You go out there and you serve and you get inspired by it. You feel great inside. And that's what moves you forward. Because so many people today are so focused, what's in it for me? What is the other person going to give me? Can I expect in my relationship? Is my partner going to be like this and like that? But so few people are actually thinking, well, what can I give? How can I serve? And imagine this, if we all get up in the morning and say, how can I serve today? And who can I serve today? What a better life for all of us we're going to create on this planet.
You're so right. And right now in our history, probably more than any other time, because of all the advances we have, we are in need of people that are heart-centered, that are passionate, they're driven, that are committed to changing things. And the only way we're going to do that is to put, not to downgrade ourselves, but to also elevate others to the same. All of us, you know, if we're all elevating each other, we make a significant difference. We can't do that, and you're so right about this, Milena. We cannot do this when we're always looking at what's in it for me. You know, what I found, you know, we talk about is, you know, the harder I work, the luckier I become, but the more I give, the more things translate. It's the way of, some people call it the universe, but the truth is you've got to pay your debt too. And the debt, when I talk about debt, I'm talking about giving to others. Yeah. And it's not a negative debt. It's, oh my gosh, look how much I love what I do. I love working with women and seeing them rise above and do their amazing work. That is, for me, that is, my bank account is full from that. Just that emotion, knowing that I have been able to help even just one woman stand on her story rather than in it. That's awesome. Yeah. That's our job, in my opinion.
I so agree with you. I just ran a course, Ancient Principles, earlier in January. And when I saw miracles happening in the room, it was like 2-day event, and we had miracles happening. After the event, people would send emails with, wow, look what happened. I was like, oh my God, like, what can we create? And how amazing it is to have impact on people's lives. I personally believe that you and me, or anybody out there that's doing transformational work, we are really not doing it alone. I think there's some guidance, you know, running through us in this happening. But it's so amazing when you open up to this and you can transform other people's lives. And if there's one thing that I would advise to our listeners is, come from a place of service. You will never, ever regret that decision.
No, I agree. And just showing up as the best of who we are. You know, often, I'm sure you've seen this yourself, you go to a networking event, for example, you're out just connecting with people. There's a magnetism and a gravitation towards the people that are happy, that are in service. There's also a like attraction. There's an attraction. It's as though you're being drawn to that person. It's just their smile. When we bring ourselves to something, my opinion is that we should bring the best of who we are. There are tragedies, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying you should fake it. What I'm saying, though, is to live our lives 90% of the time in, you know, at our highest level, being in service, also just being joyous and seeing, and more importantly, being present, because you can't actually be in service unless you're present. No. It's not physically possible because your mind's not where it needs to be, right?
Yeah, definitely. And the only moment we have is a present moment. Past has gone, so why dwell on it? It happened. It's not here anymore, right? Future's not here. But we have right now, right here.
Exactly.
But you know what? I would like to quickly touch on your event here in Vancouver as well, because, and thank you, I'm honored to be one of the speakers. I truly am. And I'm very excited about this. But with what you are doing with your Frockalicious events that you're running all across North America, Canada, and States, I think you truly are changing the world, you know, touching so many lives, bringing these amazing speakers to help them transform what needs to be transformed in their lives. Can you tell me, how did this idea come up and what's happening at events?
Well, first I want to thank you for being part of the event because your work is critical. We do an event, as you know, that encompasses whether it's your life, your love, or your business. So what I found in my, basically I've been in business since 2001, and I've attended a lot of amazing conferences, a lot of workshops, a lot of different things. And what I found is often there is a focus on one particular subject. So, for example, if you have a business, maybe it's focused on sales, marketing kind of go hand in hand, but let's just use that. If you are, wanting to develop your communication skills, that's what we refer to as love, so relationships, whether it's personal relationships, meaning spouse or children or intimate relationships, or whether it's interpersonal, where you're working with customers. So that's the communication piece. So there'd be maybe a focus on that primarily. And then there's the life piece, which is your dreams, your desires. What's your impact on the world? What's your destiny? What's your legacy? Those types of things. But very seldom do you find anything that brings everything together under one roof or event, okay? But then on top of that, there are experts like yourself that specifically work in transformational aspect of the life, in my opinion. You're working in that area. And so what I knew was missing in the marketplace was a comprehensive event that would address all three areas. What's been amazing, you talked about this a little earlier, at the events that you host yourself, is watching these women move from, they come into the room expecting one thing and they leave the room, I would say, far richer, both monetarily and spiritually, which to me are the two, because they shift, not because of us shifting, they're shifting. Now, we're all shifting at the same time. So, to see these women move from, they came in here when they wanted to be here, and see them leave here is quite amazing. Yes. But the biggest piece, I would say, the most, for me, soul filling is seeing them link arms and join and help each other. So we had a situation recently where one of the women that had been involved and is involved in our group needed some support, and 19 women raised their hands. That's the level of connection that we create. Having someone like yourself that's going to walk them through and share with them pieces on how to transform and start looking at their life in a different way, that's critical, just as having someone who's going to help them with their relationship piece, like their communications with themselves, their family, with business, with their clients, and then finally helping them to leverage their business. So we work with primarily women entrepreneurs, but it's exciting.
That's really exciting, and thank you for doing this. And you know what? Because I believe that with what you're doing, what we all are doing is, I always say to my clients, it's about being that beam of light, so that you shine to others. And I think that when we transform someone's lives, or they transform their life, they become these beams of light. And I think we need lots and lots of people that become these beams of light. They just shine with who they are, really. Because as you mentioned before, when you're happy, people gravitate towards you. And that's what happens, right? And that's what your events are about. And it's a great, great experience and contribution to the world. And I think we are changing the face of the earth slowly, one life at a time.
I think we are. And 2017, I always have a theme for every year, and my theme this year is to settle for more. And consequently, that was the name of a book. I didn't know that, but settling for more life, more joy, more love, more laughter, just settling for more, because women in general tend to take what's left over, and it's time for settle for more and raise the bar. We need to disrupt our own patterns of belief and transform, and that's what this is about. And that's why the work that you do is so critical, because we've been taught to ask for less. And this isn't about, again, not being a victim. It's about changing or breaking that cycle and settling for more, because we deserve more. And when we have more, and I'm not talking about greed, I'm talking about when we accept that we are worth more, we change the world, and it is one person at a time, and it is our time. So.
Oh yes, it is. I couldn't agree more. Yeah. So thank you, Joe. This was such an amazing conversation. Any thought that, maybe any final thought about how to change your life?
Well, I have a little prop with me because I spent 35 years hiding behind a mask, hiding behind, maybe a belief or this is just my lot in life. And if I left people with one thing, I want you to know, as you said earlier, Milena, this is just a moment in our life. But if you take off your mask and you stand vulnerable and ready to be the best of who you are, you will see tremendous change. I mean, we are living proof, just the two of us, what happens when we say, okay, that happened, it was awful, I'm going to stand and be the change. It makes a huge difference. And this is definitely our work. So just let go of things. Let go and just be the best you, because we need you and you rock already.
That's right. That's absolutely right. So take off your mask, respect yourself, because that's one of the key components. When you take off the mask, you have to have respect for yourself, and others will respect you and accept you for who you are. Yeah. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you so much. Sorry, I just had a swallow of tea and it went down the wrong way. I'm honored and thank you for the work you're doing. I can't wait till February till we're gathered and to watch the transformations yet again and lift more women to the next level. It's amazing what happens, and I'm so honored you're going to be part of it. Thank you so much, Milena.
Yeah, I'm very excited. Let's just give our listeners the date so they know when it is. So it's February 23rd and 24th in Vancouver, BC, 2017. In case if you're listening later, of course, I'm sure there's going to be other Frokalicious events at that time, but this is it for now. And yes, very excited and hope that as many people as possible come and attend this event. It's going to be lots of fun. Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, we will see you soon. And just so you know, this isn't shelf help. We really make impact, and we ask you to join and be part of it. So
yeah.
Again.
Thank you so much, Joe.